Hey, hello everybody, this is William with Bushido Gamer, game with passion and game with honor as always. Okay, so today, I got a new game for you. This game is Marvel's, it is Legendary. It's a Marvel deck building game. So, this game right here is pretty cool. This is a huge deck builder. There's a lot of stuff to this one. So we're going to jump right into it, okay? This is actually comes from Upper Deck. So we're going with one of our bigger companies here. Okay, so Marvel deck, the Marvel Legendary Deck Builder. There are a lot of other games that are also part of the Legendary series. They're all Marvel and stuff too. This is just one that I happened to get recently at the last convention. And it took me a little while to kind of get to it because, like I said, this game is this is a pretty big game. Like what you see on the field right now is not even all the cards. In fact, I'll go ahead and just kind of put this out here. So the ones that's on the field are only the cards I selected. There's still a whole section of cards for villains. There's more heroes over here too. So there's a lot of cards to this game. I think there's pretty much well over 200 if not more cards in this game. So we're going to go through a quick setup. We'll go through a playthrough to explain how this game works. And this game can play anywhere from 2 to 5 people. But here's another thing: you can actually play this game with one person. That's right. You can actually solo this game playing against the mastermind himself. So that does make it pretty cool, because sometimes you don't have people around that you can gather up to go and play a game. Or they don't want to come to the house. They do want to come over, but then something comes up, whatever it might be. There's always something, right? So you can say, you know what, screw all that. I'm gonna go ahead and break out this game, set it up, and I'll just play solo. And the rule book actually has a section in the back of the book that tells you exactly how to set it up for a solo game, which is pretty cool. Okay. All right, so with this game, yeah, it says, oh, okay, I got the number. It was 560 cards in this game. That is ridiculous. All right, so with this game, the way you set it up, we're gonna go with the villains part first. So with the villains, first you're gonna choose your mastermind, and I believe you have about 4 different masterminds. You have Red Skull. There's I think Loki, and there's some other ones in there too. So you choose the mastermind you want, because that's going to be the villain of the game you're going to do. Okay. Now that villain, that mastermind you have, on their card, yeah, on their main card, it has this little section down here in this part here that actually says always leads. That's the group of villains that you have to make sure that you put inside of the villain deck, because they always lead that villain. And then they have a master strike in case you draw that master strike. So you notice there are about 5 mastermind cards. Once you defeat the first one, you still got to defeat all the rest of them. Once you defeat all of them, then you guys win. So that makes the game a little bit more challenging. And what's cool about this is that there are different masterminds. So you can always choose a different mastermind every time you play, and you have a slightly different experience on cards you're going to be dealing with in regards to the villains and what they do. So for this setup, we're going to use Red Skull as the mastermind for this one. We got him all set up right here in this little section for the mastermind. This right here is your shield agents. These are think of these as like currency cards, because each one of these, they have a number. So the number right here on all the cards is how much you need in order to buy it, to buy that card. This little thing right here where it has a little star, that's how many resources, I guess you can call it, it gives you. So that's like your currency. Now there are some that has that, and there are some like this one that doesn't have the star, but they have this little like this, looks like a kind of a scratch mark. That's an attack value. That's how much damage that they can do to a villain. So the villain cards, they also have that little tiny thing right here, that little scratch value. That's how much damage that they can take, but then they also have an effect with them as well too. So in order to create villains, so we got the mastermind with me, so he always uses Hydra. or he always leaves Hydra, so we have to include our Hydra cards. So these are our Hydra cards that we have. We're going to put those as part of the villain deck. Okay. Then we choose. It says if we're doing a 2-player game, which we're going to set this up for a 2-player game, it says choose 2 villain groups. So one of those villain groups is Hydra, and I'm going to make the other villain group. In this case, is going to be the Skulls. So the Skulls have their own villain group, so we're going to put that, add that with the Hydras. Then we also have one henchman group, so I'm going to use the Sentinels, because it even says at the top, it says henchman villain. So these are our henchmen group. I'm going to use these Sentinels as my henchmen. So those are my henchmen, okay? Then I also have to add in these Master Strike cards. So Master Strike, there's 5 Master Strike cards. You put these into the deck, and anytime you draw a Master Strike card, then you perform the Master Strike ability for your Mastermind, which means it's basically Master Strike is when the Mastermind gets tired of his little minions going out there trying to do the work, so he goes out to do it himself. So basically, is the Mastermind is getting his hand dirty. So we put those into the deck as well. Then you have this card right here called a scheme. Now you have different schemes, which is going to give you a different layout of the game, and each one has a setup. So for example, this particular scheme is unleash the power of the cosmic cube. So that's the scheme. That's what the Mastermind is trying to do. Now, in this one, you have a setup. It says 8 twist. So with this one, you're going to draw one of these 8 screen. You're going to get these 8 screen twists, and you're going to put them into the villain deck as well. So you're basically building up what's going to be in the villain deck. Then the next thing it says, anytime you draw a twist, you're going to take that twist. You're going to put it next to the scheme, face up. Okay. Now here it says twist. Put a twist next to the scheme. If there are 5 or 6 twists, then each player gains a wound, which is one of these wound cards right here. If there are 7 twists, then each player gains 3 wounds. And wound card basically eat up your hand size for the most part. You can get rid of them, but it tells you how to get rid of them. But here's the thing here: the way that the villain wins, the way the Mastermind wins, is if there, in this case, if there are 8 twists, because we start 8 twists, then it says evil wins. So that's our scheme right here that we always have in play. So our deck is about built up. The only thing we have left is 2 bystanders. So we're going to take 2 of our bystanders. These are basically innocent bystanders who got caught in the middle of the crisis, because you know how Marvel works. And the good guys are fighting the bad guys, and the town always gets destroyed. All right, and everybody gets caught in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle this up. Alright, it's a pretty good shuffle, I think. Gonna cut it. Okay. Alright, so that is shuffled, and this becomes our villain deck. So this is our villain deck that's going to go through here, okay? Now, for our hero decks. So we're going to choose 5 heroes. I've already selected 5 heroes here. I actually have a whole box of heroes inside of here that I can select from, which makes it that's one of the things that's going to give this a good replay, because you can choose different heroes. Now you can go ahead and choose which heroes you want. Best thing to do is just lay them out and then choose them at random. So in this case, for the 5 heroes I have Rogue from the X-Men, I have Captain America, I have Quick Draw Hawkeye, I have Nick Fury, and I have the Hulk. These are my 5 heroes. So they each have their own set of cards, which I think is about 14 cards each. So it's going to give you about 70 cards. I'm going to take all 5 of these. This becomes my hero deck. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these up together. I'm just going to cut that. Alright, there we go. So now we have our hero deck, we have our villain deck. we have our mastermind, we have our shield agents, and we have our scheme. We're almost set up. This right here is our wounds. This right here for our bystanders. Okay, now for the player's hand, you have these two hero cards. You have the shield trooper and you have the shield agent. The shield agent is going to give you 1 star value, so you can go ahead and buy things with them. The shield trooper is going to give you 1 attack value, so you can attack things with it. What you're going to do is you're going to start off, each player is going to start off with 8 of the shield agents and 4 of the shield troopers. That becomes their deck. So I'm going to go ahead and take these off the board since I've already got these set up. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and set these on, they're going to be kind of off screen, but it's okay. Alright, so with these we're going to go ahead and do a little power shuffle with these guys. Okay, there goes one deck. Now in this game it's important to know that you're one of the heroes and you guys are kind of working together to defeat the villains. The villains have their own, I guess you could say, their own turn. The only thing that they do each turn. All right. So we're almost ready for the startup. So we're going to do one last thing. We're going to fill up our HQ. So to fill up HQ, we're going to take 5 cards from the top of the hero deck, and we're going to put them face up on the field in the HQ area. Okay. So we have our 5. We have our cards. So each player starts off with 6 cards. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's their starting hand. At the end of each turn, they're going to go ahead and discard whatever they have in their hand, and any cards that was played, those get a discard, and they'll draw 6 more cards. So you don't get to keep one. Okay, so the way the game plays: first, you reveal a card from the villain deck. So reveal a card from the villain deck. In this case, it was a scheme twist. So if you get a card that's a scheme twist, you're going to take this card, you're going to put it over here next to the scheme face up, because that's our first scheme. Okay. Now remember, the scheme itself has a certain number a certain thing that happens after you have a certain number of twists. So that's the first thing. Then you play cards from your hand. Defeat villains, recruit heroes, attack the mastermind, whatever it might be. The mastermind does have an attack value. Right now we don't have any villains on the field, so that's cool. So I'm going to go with my left side player, right for you guys, like you want to say. Alright, so what I'm going to do on this one, I have my 6 cards. This guy's not going to do any good. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 agents, which is going to give me 5 stars. Allows me to buy about 5 things on here. Or not 5 things, but up to a value of 5 things in there. And let me see. Just want to make sure one thing. Okay, so yeah, that's what I thought. You could buy more than one. Awesome. Okay, so is that right? I'll cut this one next one. Sorry, what I'm checking here is to make sure you can buy more than one. Which I think you can. Yeah, one at a time. So you can buy more than one. Okay. So, sorry, I have to check on that. I'll cut this into the part. Okay, so I have 5 agents down here. That's going to give me 5 points total. Now on the board here, I have 4 things that cost 4, 1 thing that costs 3, so I can decide which one I want to take. I'm going to spend my 3 to pick up Nick Fury. Okay, and then as soon as you empty a spot in there, you fill it from the top of the deck with another spot. So this right here, the one I picked up goes to my discard, and then the other 2 cards, so the 3 cards I have in my hand, there's nothing for me to do with them, so I'm gonna go ahead and discard those, and I'm gonna draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Draw my next 6 cards, and then it goes over to the next person's turn. So again, draw a card from the villain, put it into the first field. So this particular one, Supreme Hydra is worth +3 on the victory points for each other Hydra villain in your victory pile, and it takes 6 to kill him. So he goes right there. My right side player, your left side, whoever. So player 2 in this case goes on it. So he has 3 and 3, so it doesn't have much you can buy. So because I don't have anything I can buy in HQ, I could pick up myself a shield agent because it costs 3 for her, and she gives 2 stars. So I'm gonna pay that 3 to get these 2. These other 3 guys can't do anything, so I'm just going to go ahead and discard those and draw 4, 5, 6. Draw my 6 right here. So now I have my D6. Okay, so we go back again. The next turn. So when you have a villain already in play and it's in the spot right here, and you reveal another villain, then that villain gets moved over to the next spot, and then you go here. If this villain continues along here and it leaves, then it's an escape villain and it goes into this spot right here, so it's basically saved. Okay? Now if they have a bystander with them, then that gives you another little gameplay thing on there too, which we're going to look at maybe later on. So this particular villain actually has an effect called an ambush. Put the highest cost hero from the HQ under this villain. This villain's attack value is, or defense value I guess you can call it, is equal to that hero's cost. So this hero here, Captain America, he is a 7, which means that her attack value is 7. So I gotta beat 7 in order to kill her. Now the nice thing is that the fight, if I kill her, I get the hero that was underneath her, so I can get him for basically killing her 7. But it's going to be pretty tough to kill. Okay, so that killed up another spot for HQ, so we're going to add another card. This case going to be Rogue. And 2. So we're going to have 3 and 3. Alright, so we built that. We got 3. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Rogue. And some basically that's building my deck here. I got 3 more I can spend, but I can't really kill anything with that, so those are going to be discarded. So now since I have no cards to draw from my deck, I shuffle my discard pile and it becomes my new deck. Now I draw my 6. Okay, goes back to the player 2. Got another scheme twist. So because I drew a scheme twist, these guys don't move over. Okay, same thing if you get a master strike. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this one. 1, 2, 3, and 2. So there's not much here. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a shield officer. Go ahead and take those, discard those. Again, my deck is now empty, so I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this up some. Okay, draw my 6, put the card down, and now I'll go back to the villain. Another scheme twist, so that's 3 of them now. Okay, then We're gonna draw. Let's see if we can get something good here. Okay, so it's 2, 3. Not much of enough yet. Alright, so I'm going to take these 4. I'm going to pick up a, actually, I'm going to pick up a Hulk, because he got a cool effect. So I'm going to take a Hulk, and this one gives me +2. Okay. I'm not going to use Rogue's effect, which makes me KO one of my guys. If you KO one of the guys, they actually go into this KO area right here and you lose them. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and discard the rest of my hand right here and draw my new 6 cards. And then go ahead and refill my spot. And now we go to the villain's turn again. Another plot twist. So that makes 4 plot twists. So they're halfway. The mastermind is already halfway to winning. Maybe I didn't shuffle as good, huh? Right, let's take a look at this. Just to peek at it. Okay. I mean, it's not horrible. All right. So we got 2, 3, and 4, plus 3 attack, which I'm not gonna do anything with. This is 4. I'm going to take up a rogue. She gives me +3 on the attack. And discard the rest of the cards as I did before. Draw 6 more. And then a new villain comes into play. Everybody gets moved over. It stays right there. They go right here. And this one has a fight ability, so if I fight it, I have to KO one of my heroes. It's a henchman. It only costs 3 to kill him, so that may not be a horrible thing. And then we're going to do 1, 2. We have 4 right here. That's not bad. So we'll do my 3. I'm going to KO this hero. Actually, I'm going to KO this hero. So we'll do 3 to attack this guy. So I did enough damage to him with these 3 to kill that. So it means this one is toast. It goes to my victory pile. The other cards get discarded and everything else. This is KO, so I'm not going to use that anymore. That goes away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now, go back. Okay, so we got a mastermind card. So the mastermind card, now we go to the mastermind. He's actually going to get his hands dirty. So in this case, each player KOs a hero from their hand. That's his mastermind ability, which means that each player has to take one of their heroes and knock them out. So I have to knock out one of my heroes, and damn, that was always going to be good too. So I knock out that hero. So I got 3 heroes that are all KO'd right now. And then we continue our turn. The mastermind card is discarded afterwards. I'm just going to throw that off to the side. And then let me see. Alright, so oh, I need to fill that back up. Alright, so I'm going to pay 4 to get this guy. Refill this spot. This one gets dumped. Alright, we're going to play like about 2 more rounds. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, go back to the villains. Another card. Okay, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scheme cards now in play, which means that the first plot is done. Each player gains a wound. So each player is going to gain a wound. It's going to go into the discard, which means it's going to get shuffled back into the deck afterwards. Okay. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanted to get something good and I can't now, so I'm going to take 3. Give me a Captain America card. The other 2 get dumped. Refill this one up. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Okay. Goes back to the villain. It's going to turn. Another scheme. Each player get another wound card. Because it says 5 or 6 to get a wound card. Alright. 4, 5. No. Alright, so we're going to do, there goes 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do this 5. We're going to pay 4 to get this guy right here. And the rest of them, there's only 4 I can do in damage. I'm not going to do anything with that. That's going to get discarded. 1, 2, 3. And then go ahead and shuffle this deck. 4, 5, 6. Put the last one in there. And then let's do a couple more returns. Another Master Strike, which means that all the players have to discard a hero card. So I want to KO that hero. And 1, 2. Oof. Damn, those are some nice ones too. Oof. KO that hero. Okay, Master card gets discarded. Remember, there are 5 of these inside the deck, so these 5 times it's going to come out and hit you. Alright, so this one has 2 plus 3, that's 3. You may KO a wound from your hand or discard pile. If you do, you get +2. So that's Hulk's ability. And I do actually have a wound in my thing, so I'm going to KO that wound, that we don't have to use it, so it's out. So that gives me +2 attack on top of the 2 that I already have, so it makes it 4. This one is 5, 6, plus it says you get +1. So that's 7, and I mean, why not? Might as well throw some heaters out there, right? I'm gonna go ahead and do 7, and I'm gonna KO this guy, and I get to get the card that was underneath it. Yeah. Okay. So that's 7. And then this gives me 2, nothing else I can get over here. So I'm going to discard the rest of them, draw my 6. Okay, so I defeat another one of the villains. Let's go ahead and get the next villain in play. We have the henchmen. And they take 4 to kill him. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3. Nothing much I can do with that. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Always get that there. Let's go ahead and spin this 3 to get Rogue. Discard the rest of it because I don't have anything I can play on. Okay, so go back to the villain. I know I said one more time, but this one end now. This is an ambush. Put the rightmost hero from the HQ under this villain. This villain's attack is equal to that hero's number. So let's add this right here. And the rightmost, which is going to be over here, goes under him, so it makes him 4. And then this guy gets pushed over. And this guy doesn't move because there was a space right there, so that's okay. And then we go ahead and see what we're going to do next. And so I have a wound in my hand, and it actually says for healing, if you don't recruit any heroes or defeat any villains on your turn, you may KO all the wounds from your hand, which is a pretty cool one to do. There is another way to get rid of the wounds. Let me look it up again. I forgot what it was. Oh, never mind. Yeah. So you do what it says for the healing. That's how you get rid of the runes. So in this case, I'm not going to worry about it because I only have one. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I only got enough for 3. So I'm going to take these 3 and I'm going to pick up another trooper. The wounds and everything is you get discard of everything else. And I'll draw 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, last turn. So we have this one, and everybody moves over. There's another sentinel, and then let this one finish his turn. So we got 1, 2 plus 4, so that's 4, that's 5. 6, 7 plus it gives him 1, so it's 8. So we have 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attack the mastermind. Why not? So attack the mastermind for 8. Mastermind guy dies, so his second incarnation of him come out. So he's still alive, but you know he's kind of a little bit different now. And then the other 3 I'm not going to do anything with, and then I'm going to end our turn, and we're going to finish the game right there. So the game can go around for a bit of time, but it's a pretty cool game. It's pretty fun to play once you get it all set up. It takes a little while to set it up though. But once you get it all set up, it's a pretty fun game to play. So, gameplay, replay value, fun factor, theme, rules. Let's look at the ratings. Alright, so gameplay. Is it easy to play? Kind of yes, kind of no. It takes a little while to really understand because there's a lot to this game. There's a lot that you do. But once you start getting the gist of it, you do start getting an idea, and you kind of it starts to make sense after a couple rounds. You say, okay, yeah, it's repeating the same thing over again. It's just as most deck builders. When you first play it, you're like, holy crap, what the hell am I doing? It's all this stuff. But as you keep playing it, you're like, okay, I got the idea now. So for that, I would give this one a good 4.5 for the thing. I think a 4.5 will be good. It is a little bit difficult to play, but it's not too difficult to play, and it's not too easy to play. But once you start to play it, you get the hang of it, and then you can go from there. So I think it has a well-deserved 4.5. For the replay value, actually, let's go back. Let's go to fun factor. The game is really fun to play. I think it's pretty fun to play. It goes by pretty fast, based on, well, kind of depending on who you have that's playing with you, because there are some people who just take their sweet freaking time to make every single move, and those are the ones that just annoy the crap out of people and just take a long time to do it because like, oh my gosh, it's just taking forever. So, but for the fun factor, I would give it a 5 for the fun factor because I think it's a pretty fun game to play. Scratch that. Let's go to 4.5 for the fun factor. It's a fun game to play. It's not too difficult. It's not too easy, but it does have a bit of a curve to it when it comes to learning the game because there's a lot of aspects to remember in here, and that's what makes the game a little bit more complex. But it's still pretty fun to play. You get these heroes and you kicking the mastermind's butt, basically, right? Replay value. Okay, so this one. Definite. Without a shadow of doubt, I would give this one a 5 on a replay. The reason why, as I showed earlier in the video, so let's just take a quick look at this, just to look at these. So these right here are my heroes, right? Okay, so these heroes, now remember I already chose 5 heroes in here, but the other heroes in here, I have Thor, I have, who's this? I have Storm from X-Men. There's Wolverine from X-Men, X-Factor, X-Force, and everything else is X. There's Deadpool. Yep, Deadpool is one of the heroes in here too. Then you have Gambit, Cyclops. Now I know it sounds like there's a whole bunch of X-Men in here, but it's not all X-Men. There's Iron Man. See, told you not all X-Men. This is Marvel Universe. Let's see. I think there's Spider-Man here too somewhere. There's Black Widow. there's Emma Frost. For those, I mean, most people probably know who Emma Frost is. If you don't know who Emma Frost is, you should know because she's cool. And then you have Spider-Man. It's the last one. So these are just those are the heroes. For the villain side, over here are my villains. For the villains, we have, as far as the mastermind is concerned, for the masterminds you have Loki, who leads the enemies of Asgard. So you have all the enemies of Asgard in here. You have Magneto, he's the next mastermind, and you have all the members of the Brotherhood. You have Doctor Doom as a mastermind who leads the Doombot Legion. And then you have Red Skull, of course. Then you have members of the Masters of Evil. You have Spider foes, so Spider-Man enemies. You have radiation enemies, which are kind of like all these mutated ones. And then you have your henchmen as well, the Doombots, the Savage Land mutants, and the ninjas of the Hand. So because of this, there are a lot of potential for different types of enemies, different masterminds. Not only that, there's even different schemes. So if you look at the schemes, which I think is right here, that's the scheme twist. So with the schemes, there are, let's see what we have. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 different schemes. And they're not all the same. Like this right here, the setup is 8 twists plus an additional henchman. And evil wins if 12 villains escape. This other one, the evil wins if 8 heroes get into the escaped villains crowd, which is interesting. This one is if 5 killbots escape. This one is if the wound stack runs out. Because apparently you get wounds like crazy on this one. This one, if the hero deck runs out, then the evil wins. When 8, wait, hold on. Did it actually say? Oh, wait, that's different. Okay, when 8 bystanders are carried away by escaping villains, and then if this one, evil wins if you just have 7 twists inside of there. So all the schemes are a little bit different, which makes it better replay, right? Because then every time you play it, you might choose a different scheme than you had before, which means now the way that the evil wins will change. So because of that, because of the fact that you can choose different villains, you can choose different masterminds, you can choose different schemes, you can choose even different hero or different villains to put into your deck, that makes this game have a solid 5.0 when it comes to the replay value. Because this game has a very high replay and it's pretty fun to play too, which doesn't hurt it. Okay, and the last one is the rules. So this here is the rule book. It is, how many pages is this? It's about 22 pages, 23 if you count the last page. This is a 23-page rule book. It is very detailed. It has a lot of information on here. There's some stuff I had to kind of read through it a few times just to make sure I was getting it right. But for the most part, all the stuff they need to know how to play the game is inside this book. So with that, the rules itself, I would say the rule book, or for the rules, they are a little bit complex, they're a little bit confusing on some parts, so I'm going to give it a 4 for the rules. Only because it's not that easy of a game to play, neither are the setup. The setup for this game is ridiculous. Once you actually get past the setup and you start playing the game, it actually is a little bit easy, but the setup itself takes a while. Because it just takes a while. Okay, but anyway, so that's the game. It is Legendary by Upper Deck. It's Marvel Legendary. It is not a newer game. This has been out for some time. I think this was the rule book itself copyrights 2012, and it's 2019 right now. So yeah, it's been out for a good number of years, but it's still I think it's a pretty fun, solid game to play. I would definitely recommend looking it up in a game library somewhere, like a hobby shop, because they probably have more updated versions of the game too, with newer cards or whatever like that for Legendary. But even then, it is still a pretty good game to play, even how old it is. So that is Upper Decks Marvel Legendary. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, Bushido Gamer, and I hope you guys all have a great time. I hope this was educational, I guess you can say. And definitely, I think you should all get this game. It is a cool game to get, but remember, the setup is pretty intense. But have fun, get this game, play it. My cat's saying it's time to go. Okay, I hear you. All right. So, game with passion and game with honor as always, and have fun in what you do. Take care, you guys.